welcome again.
Thank you.
Before we go ahead and discuss those two items and vote on those two items, I also, since we have a number of visitors here tonight, one, thank you, welcome, and just wanted to open the floor if any of you have any comments concerning our group this evening also.
I'd like to talk. Do you want me to move up, or am I fine here? First off, I'd like to say I know you guys are getting ready to vote on the animal shelter and some other projects, and I'm under the understanding, of course, that 423B of the Iowa Code of Iowa is that you guys need to complete the projects or the specification of the ballot language before you can start using local option sales tax for urban renewal projects such as the animal shelter. And so bringing that to light, and as you guys are talking about gaps, I'm here tonight to represent some gaps that I'd like to talk about myself. These gaps have been brought up many times to the city council. They've been addressed when city staff, city management have been there. Nobody seems to want to turn around and address the gap, right? And this is what the local option sales tax was for. It was sold to us under the premise that 90% of this money would be used to acquire flooded houses and rehabilitate flooded houses, as is quoted by Monica Vernon in the Gazette, right? We saw this on the news. Mayor Corbett, same thing. This is the way it was promoted to us. Years have gone by, and as you know, I was on the local option sales tax no team because of these simple factors. The money was not spent for houses to rehabilitate or to acquire them. Not 90%, not 50%, maybe 7%. Yet they turned around and they said, we spent 90% acquiring and rehabilitating flooded properties. All right, flooded properties are not flooded houses. Those are two different things. And so we have a major gap going on in the buyout acquisition areas where these people have been denied assistance from Jumpstart, from volunteers, from any other source of funding. And this is what this local option sales tax money was intended to be used for in the first place. And so I have a list, a small one at this moment, of some immediate people, and I have a lot of other people that I know that are already in these gaps, and I'll describe some of them. I have Matthew Robinette on 5th Street Northwest. His place is probably about 85% done. He had partial flood insurance, had to wait for the first 30% to come in to get 50% of his place done, to get the next 30% in to come to the 85. At this point in time, Matt Robinette's place, it's 85% complete, right? No assistance from anybody else. There's no FEMA. There's no Jumpstart. We're in a buyout acquisition. We're being coerced out of our homes during this whole process by being denied volunteers and Jumpstart assistance and these other things, right? So now, in order to get some kind of retribution on the situation that's been dealt with down on these people, we essentially have some requests out of this local option sales tax committee. And we would request that you fill the gaps that are in our areas. My house needs work still. Dennis's house needs work. Donna and Rick's needs work. I got Mike Lane over on 22nd Avenue behind Checktown. His house still needs finished. None of these people have got the assistance that they should have gotten along the way, and it's this local option sales tax meeting's job to be filling those gaps with the local option sales tax money that you've already received. We've been asking for this. We've been saying we need help. We've been at the city councils over and over. I've been on this for 3 years. And so I'm at the point now where I'm coming to these meetings, I'm watching you guys talk about filling gaps. And here once again is the gap that we keep pointing out over and over and over again. And I'm to the point where if you guys are not willing to fill the gap, then I'm willing to express the violation of the 423B of the Iowa Code if you guys continue to spend money on animal shelters and other projects before you fill these gaps. And I think you know, you and I have met, I'm a serious person. I do my research, I understand my stuff, and I bring this stuff to the table. I put all my cards out there. I got nothing to hide. We need help. There's probably 9, 10 houses right in that area that need help. I got other examples. Craig Sharp on A Avenue Northwest. Probably saw the signs of cardboard in his front yard as he was complaining about the plumber that did this terrible work inside his house. This was a Jump Start program that did the work on his house. Jump Start inspectors came in and approved his house, wrote the guy the second check, and the guy ran off with the money. There Craig is, stuck with a loan and a lien on his property for a forgivable loan for money that was essentially loaned to him that he should have got the value. But he was forced to take a Jump Start certified on a list contractor, which really meant nothing more than you had to be, not unbarrable and registered with workforce development. But you had to be on the list, which essentially to me was unfair competition for contractors all out through the area. So they gave him a contractor on the list that came in, did garbage work, and then turned around and paid the guy anyway. Craig had to go sue the contractor because Jump Start wouldn't do anything for him. After all, they didn't lose a penny. It wasn't their money, right? Craig's the one that's out of it because he's got a lien on his house, and now he's got a tub that's crooked. He's got water lines running up through his stairwell going upstairs when they should be in the wall, and he's got a pipe that he's going to run his head into every time he goes down the basement steps, all from one plumber. He sues the guy. The judge fines him for Craig because obviously the work's bad. Even though it's essentially code, it's not good work. It's not what you pay for. But collecting money out of these contractors after they've already belted up, sold the business, collected all the Jump Start money. I mean, they fold them up. They come in, they sweep up money, don't do the work, drop the business, or start another one 3 weeks later under a different name, And so there's a gap. There's a guy there that, has gotten totally reamed over. Lon Whitford on 11th Street Northwest, same type of thing. He paid the contractors. They got a hold of the first half of the money. They literally did more damage. They did good. They tore out his basement steps. They put them back in with one of the risers 2 inches different than the rest of the steps. Won't even meet code. Now it's going to cost more money to rip the stuff out that they did bad and go in and fix his house right. Yet, in his case, he didn't sign the second half. He didn't sign off. So Jump Start still has the second half of the money sitting there. Now this is in a litigation kind of process thing, trying to figure out what to do next, because obviously the first contractor got half the money and only did about 20% of the work, and so now there's not enough money left there to complete, Lon Whitford's house out of what is remaining in the Jump Start program. So these things are gaps that you guys could be filling with this local option sales tax money that would actually fit the ballot language according to the way it's supposed to be spent. And I would appreciate if you'd do that.
Let me respond on a couple things. One, keep in mind that our group
oversight committee. I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
So we don't develop programs. We don't set that up. But what I would ask from you is, if you get an opportunity, if you want to put any of these gap ideas in black and white and get them to the committee, one thing the committee can do is take, and I think Lisa's working on some things, but when we hear these kind of things, if we can get them in black and white, and then as a committee, I've been told by a few different council people that if we have any ideas for gaps, we can forward those on, and one thing that may or may not help, we can only do what we can do, but if we vote that the group feels it's a good gap, we can kind of at least put that behind the request as we shoot that off to council.
Well, do you want me to put in a proposal, or do you want me to put in a request to write a program?
I have the construction zone in Greenway listed within here, as you mentioned it, these things. I remember what I have in here, but the thing is, City Council never, ever voted to prevent funding sources to go to those people in the Greenway construction zone. That was all third-party administrator in the state. And I don't think it's right. When they got their FEMA money, they moved forward, rehab. because there was such uncertainty about buyouts or rehabilitation assistance. So they used their FEMA money to try start rehabbing, and the third-party administrators in the state denied any assistance, which is basically coercion, and then they used their FEMA money, but the city council voted in the zones, but they just in December voting, but they did not ever say those two zones are not eligible for